Are you or somebody you know looking to travel to Kenya from US and you have a lot of questions about traveling to Kenya, such as, is a COVID-19 test required? What's the experience like now that we have this pandemic? Or better yet, are you going to be asked to quarantine once you get there? I'm glad you're here and I hope I can answer some of those questions that you might have. Jitago wa Geshi and welcome to my channel, Travel with Irene. I'm going to make this video short and sweet kwa sababu sitaki kuwe another 40 minutes video. You have to sit and watch just to get some basic information. So we're going to get right to it kwa sababu I know maybe you're watching this ukitoka jobo ama uko home unaenda jobo and you just have, kidogo time to watch the video. So let's get to it. I got to travel to Kenya in September, beginning of September. As a matter of fact, it was September 1st when I got to travel to Kenya, and I returned in US mid-October. My plan to travel to Kenya was not planned at all. In fact, I booked my ticket on a Sunday. I got my COVID-19 test done on Monday, and I flew out on Tuesday. It was that fast. In fact, I will be later on at the end of this video, I'll be sharing the live videos that I took while traveling, and you'll see it even in my face or hear it on my voice. The whole experience was really bad. Actually, it was so bad because there was not a lot of information. There probably is right now about traveling to Kenya. So first places I went to check for information was the Kenyan Embassy in Washington, D.C. and then JKIA Airport. And at the time, there was zero to no information. At the embassy, they all had African diaspora, be vigilant. Information that is of importance or little importance to me as a Kenyan traveling to Kenya. So I'm really hoping that this video will help you or somebody you know travel safely, or at least know what you need when you're traveling. Of course, information is changing hourly, so I hope that at least this one it will help to guide you through as you plan your trip, and I hope you travel safely. It's important I state the reason for my travel. It was not planned. It was for bereavement purposes. I lost both my grandfather and my grandma unexpectedly, and I was not even planning on getting on a domestic flight, leave alone international flight. So once I got the news, I really pondered on whether I even needed to go. First, I was scared of getting sick or getting my family sick, my neighbors sick, or family members sick. So it took me the whole Saturday, deciding whether I should go. And it was a pretty tough decision to make, but I came to decide that I should go and pay my last respects. So I traveled, started looking for information. There was zero to none, like I mentioned, and it was just really stressful. Even talking about it right now, even 2-3 months after, I'm still like, I can just imagine the stress I was going through. So I'm hoping really you'll get the information you need. Kosababu, the tough things I will say, once you're done with it, the whole process is really easy. First, the most stressful part will be purchasing your flight ticket, getting your COVID-19 test done, and then flying. Pretty much it's just like any other now that you just need to have a mask and a face shield. But purchasing a flight ticket and getting your COVID-19 test is really your ticket to enter to Kenya. So remember, the COVID-19 test result is only valid for 96 hours. Sikuine. And for the kids in the back, it's not from the time the results are out. It's from time the sample was collected. So you only have Sikuine to travel across the world, which makes it almost impossible, but it's doable. I was able to do it, and you can too. But remember, that's the most important thing before even buying your flight ticket. make sure you are available and can get your COVID testing done, and you know where. I'll be sharing a video later on about where I got mine done, so be sure to subscribe or at least check back later. I'll try to post that video sometime this week. So you need your COVID-19 test to enter to Kenya. The to enter to Kenya is to have filled a health information form, which I will leave the link on the description box below. A lot of people on the flight did not know about it until we got to Kenya and they were told, download this, do this. So I'm just hoping you will be well prepared because you have watched this video. Okay? So those are the two requirements you need. At least it was when I was traveling. And so far, and right now I'm recording this in November 22nd, and still the case. Just need a COVID-19 test done on no more than 4 days from the sample collection date, and the health information form filled out. Plus, you also have to have no symptoms at all. And this I'm talking about if you're traveling from US. Some states, like California, I believe, had some other requirements. So I check for any updates because information is changing constantly. So you want to make sure you are up to date. But to my knowledge, if you're flying from Washington State, all I needed was COVID-19 testing and to have filled that form. So I flew from SeaTac International Airport here in Seattle, Washington, to LA, California. From California, I flew to Turkey, and Turkey to Nairobi, Kenya, using Turkish Airlines. I've never flew with Turkish Airlines before. This was my first time. And the reason why that was the case is because I needed to get to Kenya as quick as possible. I arrived in Kenya on a Thursday and the burial was on a Friday. So I needed to get to Kenya as quick as possible. So when I checked in at the SeaTac after I got my COVID-19 test done on Monday, I was really hoping they'll be out on Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, I woke up at 6 in the morning and they were out. They were actually out for only 30 minutes prior to me checking. So they were out at 5:30 and I was checking the test result at 6. So, was I excited to see the test result, negative test result, I should say. So I got ready, went to the airport here at SeaTac International Airport, and I was not asked for a COVID-19 test upon checking in or boarding the flight. I used Delta Airlines. The customer service was excellent as always, and the flight to LA was pretty good. They were doing physical distancing, so the middle seat was empty on all the seats, and the flight was also not as booked as other flights. So it was relatively a half plane. I would say the capacity was not a lot of people. So it made me and I think other travelers feel safer traveling, even though for most of us it was not like a choice. It was like, I have to travel. I should tell you, I wasn't like excited I was going to Kenya. I was not like, I can't wait. It was just a stressful time overall. But got to California airport, relatively big airport. One has to walk quite a distance to get to the international terminal, Tom Bradley Airport. And it was actually less busier than here in Seattle, Washington, because their COVID-19 cases are actually higher compared to Washington. I mean, in America, the COVID-19 cases are quite high compared to everywhere else in the world. So, I got to California. I had a 2-hour layover there. So it went by quite fast. Thankfully, I was worried about this because I was using Alaska Airlines and now Turkish Airlines. I wasn't sure if I needed to claim my bags, but I did not. They were going to make their way to Kenya. So that was really nice to know. And yes, when you're booking your flight ticket, it will tell you you're only allowed one bag, but it's 2 bags. I learned that once I got to 2 checked-in bag. So you're allowed, and I think it's a standard for all international flights, 2 suitcases, checked-in bag for free. So got to California. I was not asked for a COVID-19 testing result when boarding Turkey Airlines to go to Turkey from LA. I was not asked for one. I will say this was my first time traveling with Turkish Airlines, and my experience was not that great. And I say that only when it comes to flying during COVID-19, because they were not doing any physical distancing at all. It was a 13-hour flight, and it was jam-packed. It was bad. In fact, there was a middle person, the middle seat, there was somebody sitting there until we asked the flight attendant if they could find another spot for them. Because it was a 13-hour flight, and I don't know about you. Now with COVID-19, one can never take enough precautions. So at least the middle person was moved to another seat because we asked for it. But I hope, I would like to think that one should not ask for physical distancing, especially when you're traveling international flight, 13-hour flight during COVID-19. So I was not impressed with them because of that. And then we got to, and it was one long flight. I will say this. You know how people say that they're going glamping? I was going flight camping. Seriously, I bought all my food. This girl was not messing around. Nilileta machungwa, mayai, nikakuja na avocado, mandizi. What else did I bring? 2 peaches. Serious. I was not going to take a chance. So what I was trying to do was to avoid any contact with other people as much as possible, as much as I could control. Of course, you can control everything when you're flying, right? So I wanted to have minimum contacts with people at the airport. So I brought most of my food. So I did not need to eat at the plane. Plus, it's plane food, right? So I had all my food. And yes, you can travel with fruits since you're not entering it in a country. You're transiting. So you can bring, I brought my avocado. 2. I brought my oranges. I think oranges nililetane or 2. I brought eggs. The climate, the weather, the temperature is going to be cold in the plane. So it's not like food is going to go bad, and it's 24 hours. So it was fine. So I brought my food, and that's what I was eating at the airport. So sanitized, and that's what I ate. You are provided, with Turkish Airlines, you are provided a travel kit, COVID-19 or kit, where you're given a mask. I believe there were 2, and hand sanitizer to use. So flew from California to Turkey, and then Turkey to Nairobi. I had, I believe, another 2 hours and 15 minutes layover in Turkey, and it went by fast. But Aki nakwambia, oof, another long one. I should mention the flight to LA was delayed 30 minutes. And then the one from Turkey to Nairobi was delayed 40 minutes. And here's the story. Whew. So, there was a change of planes. So we were supposed to fly with a bigger plane, and we were switched to a smaller plane. And it got chaotic, right? In fact, they had to bring a dog in because, I don't know, had to bring a dog in. It became really chaotic. We were delayed quite a bit. Once we got in the plane, oh yeah, Mwasani. This guy passes by, right? Anaenda kukaa chini, Kenyan. And the guy smells, he's drunk. And I don't mean like 1 shot, 2 shot. Nakwambia chali alikuwa ananuka pombe. Yani alipita hivuko. Bayote. So he goes, sits down. And then there's this other chick seated right across. And she gets sick or something. The drunk guy the flight hasn't even left, right? Or started, taking off. So people are still getting in. The cabin crew is getting ready for the flight to fly. And the guy, nimwite nani? I shouldn't even call him. I'll call him Mr. X. He gets up, anatembea from one aisle to another. Akaanza kusema, shame, shame, shame. Kaiwa Kenya na pombe. Mwasani. He was so drunk. I don't know if he was telling himself that he was shameful or something, but he was just, ana shout, shame, shame, shame. Sijui alikuwa anatafuta shame. Sijui ni nini. So he had to be escorted out of the plane. And of course, they cannot fly with an unclaimed baggage. So they had to go through all the cabins to check mizigo za huyu Charlie. And then get the one checked in from the plane. So it was a 40 minutes. And then the other lady got sick, or she said she was not feeling well, had to be attended to. It was just one long one. I will not even get into drinking for Kenyans because that's really an issue. Alcohol is a real issue when it comes to, manze. Wow. Anyway, arrived in Kenya. They made it up, but we arrived in Kenya at 2:40 in the morning and went through custom. Thank goodness, went through custom. But, let me back up a little bit. So, arrived in Kenya. I was asked for a COVID-19 test, negative test, no more than 96 hours. And then I was asked for a Q code, which you get after you fill out the health information form in the description box below. And I had already taken a screenshot of it, so it was easier for me to provide that information. And I would advise you do the same. So take a screenshot of your COVID-19 test results and a screenshot of the Q code you get once you've finished filling out the health information form. And then you can just show it to them and then you'll be told to pass through. So I passed through, I went to the custom. I should mention I was flying using my US passport. Once I got to Kenya, they asked me, hey, Madam, una ya Kenya? And I was like, niko nayo, but sile ya chipo. And they were like, we are still accepting non-chipped Kenyan passport as long as they're not expired. That saved me $50 visa fee, which was great to know. So yes, you can travel using your non-chipped aka old Kenyan passport, as long as it's not expired. At least at the time, according to the custom guy, he said until April of 2021. So you're still good if you have a non-chipped Kenyan passport that is not expired. So they asked me the reason for my travel. I told them it was for bereavement purposes. They stamped my passport and I went to claim my bags. And then, thank goodness, after getting my bag, going through declaration, my bags were not open. The whole shenanigans of opening suitcase, I know it's one that all diaspora just dread. They're like, another tax issue and yes. But my bags were not open, went right through, and my driver was waiting for me there. My driver, John, was waiting for me there. This is a driver I've used before. I've used this company the last 7 years. It's a locally Nakuru-owned woman business. I've used them for the last 7 years. They're the people that I used when I was traveling to Masai Mara and Nairobi. Whenever I'm in Nairobi, they pick me up from the airport, drop me off from the airport. So if you're looking for a taxi, a reliable, safe taxi driver, I will leave the information in the description box below. I even use them if we have like a family thing and none of us wants to travel, or we are gonna need a bigger car. I use them. A really nice lady, Jane is her name, and the drivers are pretty awesome. I've been able to work with 3 of them. I have John, and then I have Peter the Great, and then one more. Really good folks. So got to my car at 3:40. At the time, the curfew, the night travel ban was from 11 o'clock to 4 in the morning. And so we had to wait 20 minutes in our taxi before starting to travel. I traveled to Kenya and I didn't want to take a chance. I'm not a fan of driving at night or getting myself in a situation. So we waited for 20 minutes and then 4 o'clock we started our journey, made my way to Nakuru. I know that's a lot, but I promised I was going to condense all this information to make this short and sweet. So my takeaway for you is your layover destination will probably dictate your whole experience traveling to Kenya from US. So I would suggest be very careful about the layover destination you're going to pick. Make sure their COVID-19 numbers are relatively low or they're not considered by US high numbers, right? I don't want to mention those countries on continents. The flight ticket, when you go to purchase them, they will be cheaper. So I tell you, my friend, be wary. Don't just pick that ticket because it's cheaper, because it's going to take you to a destination that the COVID-19 cases are high and the experience will be very difficult. One of my friends flew to and I don't know why I even whispered that. I shouldn't have whispered that, to Italy. And he had a rather tough experience there. So make sure your layover destination is one that does not have high COVID-19 cases. Second is make sure your COVID-19 test is good for 4 days. You don't want to get yourself in a situation. Your third and lastly and the most important thing, when you purchase your ticket, make sure it's refundable, or at least you can get a voucher for future use, because you might need to cancel your flight in case your COVID-19 test doesn't come back in time. Okay? Well, if you have questions, comments, or you have additional information you'd like to share for everybody else, please feel free to share that information in the description below, and I ask that you are kind. So I don't need negative energy. So does the community. We don't need any negative energy. So please be kind when you're commenting. And if you can share information that would be helpful to everybody else, including myself, feel free to do so. Well, that's it from my end. I hope you have a safe flight. If you do decide to go to Kenya, take care of yourself and take as much precaution as you can for your own safety and for the safety of everyone else in Kenya. Stay healthy and blessed. Kwaheri. And I guess I should say this. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay. More videos to come. I will be sharing a video about my experience coming from Kenya to US, where I got my COVID testing done in Kenya, and also where I got my COVID testing done here in Seattle, Washington. So subscribe or hit the notification button so you are reminded when I upload the next video. Okay. Kwaheri, ukoro na ihinda riega. And yes, we are going to be talking more Kikuyu in this channel. Okay? All right.